Skirt, skirt. Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's, I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leave on that levy, no sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do, hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm cool. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told them no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit up my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboy Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. It is time for Model Mondays. So as always, we have the wonderful Data on with us on Mondays. How's it going, Data?
I just love the nickname Data.
I'm
just a collection of zeros and ones put together.
In a way, isn't that all of us are?
It is just funny, you know. Whenever my wife tunes into a stream or Spaces or something like that, she's like, they're just calling you Data.
Yeah, it's endearing, I think. I mean, and the first time before you were on, I said I could just call you Omer, and you said no. We'll just go with Data.
I do like Data, yeah. Wait, someone said I have the wrong mic. Let me see.
I don't think so. It might be a little, the output might be a little bit loud on my end.
Okay. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me fine?
But you're definitely good. I can see. Okay. I mean, your audio is definitely going to the stream. The mixer is moving. So, for anybody who is new, here's a quick rundown of how the streams go. So we have 5 different categories that you can see in the bottom left-hand side of the screen. For each of these 5 categories, we have a game that we have selected. The first 4, we have just one game that we're going to talk about. And the last one is our best bets, where Data will have his favorite bet of the day. I will have my favorite bet of the day. And chat, you guys get to vote on your favorite bet of the day. Also, it is Valentine's Day. So I see somebody called dibs on me to be their Valentine. You can be my Valentine, Stefan.
I think that's Trent in the chat asking if I'll be his Valentine.
No, Data is married with kids and has very romantic plans for the night. Isn't that right?
That's not for stream to talk about.
That's the after dark stream. So anyways, yeah, this stream is college basketball only. Yeah, wine, dine, and 69, exactly. That's right, Bryce. So let's go ahead and before we get too off the rails with the Valentine's Day talk, let's hop in to category number 1.
Degenerates only.
I was looking at Ballsack State -4 against Dickhead State. Ballsacks covered their last 10 straight games, and my boy says they're a wagon.
So category number 1, Degens only, is a game that is so extreme that only degenerates are betting on it, like our wonderful friends over at Book It Sports, who's in chat. I'm assuming it's Dave. I don't know. Is it who is it? Is it Dave or is it Trent? Dave usually calls me Capwise Nick. Although I guess Trent also calls me Capwise Nick.
Trent also calls you Capwise.
It's Trent's dumbass. Okay.
Yeah, you see that dead emoji?
That's certified Trent right there.
Yeah, that's his favorite emoji of all time.
That's probably the first time Trent's seen that intro. We got approval.
All right. Let's focus on the college basketball.
Anyways, yeah. So Degens only. We have everybody's favorite Degen team, Eastern Illinois. going on the road, taking on Austin P. Both of these teams are terrible. Eastern Illinois is 5-20. Austin P is 9-4. Both of them are below 500 in the Ohio Valley Conference. Austin P, 11.5-point favorites at home. Over/under set at 122. So, Data, what are your leans here?
See, so when you sent me this game as the D-Gen game, I was like, damn. Because both of these teams are teams that I've multiple times betted on and watched their games. So I'm like, am I entering college basketball D-Gen status at this point?
Of course you are.
Apparently I am. So I already immediately had thoughts on this game. I thought about it before my model was done generating the simulations. And obviously Austin, PA, for anyone who looks at it straight out, is the better team.
Yeah,
and if
for
you
sure.
dig into the data, is the by far better team. And personally, I thought if the model shows it anywhere is around -10, this was before the line was decided, I'd probably take Austin PA. At what is it, 11.5?
11.5.
11.5, it was already so tough, and then the simulation shot out -12. Or it gave the final score of 69-57. So
Yeah, so basically spot on.
spot on. Yeah, this one is tough. They've got this one. They've got enough data on both of these teams. It was spot on. But as I said, 69-57. That's not way over, but over the total of 122.
Yeah.
And these two teams, if they don't shoot bricks, can keep up pace and definitely take the total over. That's a low total, especially for college basketball, right? Remember,
Yes.
my guess is typically 140.
Yeah, no information. 140 is the guess.
Yeah.
So
My lean is going to be the over.
yeah, I'm also gonna lean the over here. So Eastern Illinois has had a lot of notoriety this year because I think that they were the last team in the entire nation to have every single one of their games end the same way in regards to a spread or a total. I think they started out like 13-0 on unders. So their totals, rightfully so, are extremely low. That being said, they've turned it around a little bit as of late. I mean, they've been scoring in like the high 50s, 60s, even put up 80 in their last game. So that combined with the fact that this Austin P team does actually have a couple good players who are capable of putting the ball in the basket leads me to think that this 122 is kind of low as well. Especially there's one guy on Austin P. I have no idea what he's doing on this team. His name is Elijah Hutchins Everett. He's a true freshman center. 6'11", 270. Absolute monster inside. This dude is going to be a problem in this conference if he doesn't transfer out. So I am with you. I am taking the over. My model has this at like 127 or so. So let me get these up on the screen and take a look at the poll results from chat, which is just finishing up. So again, for anybody who is just tuning in, especially for the first time, there's going to be polls for all of these games for everybody to vote. The over, far and away, is the chat lean. 91% of the vote on the over. Also had 79% of the vote on Eastern Illinois, but it does look like we are unanimous on over 122 in the Austin P Eastern Illinois game. I like it. I like consensus. So let's go ahead now and move along to category number 2.
Public intoxication.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
So category number 2, public intoxication, is all about a game where there is heavy public money on one side. So the public intoxication game today is coming to you from the Pac-12. It is Washington State and Oregon. Public, very heavy on Oregon. More than 80% of the bets coming in on this Ducks team at home. They are 5-point favorites at home. Total set at 135. So, Data, what are your thoughts on this game?
This one was an interesting one. I think when you told me that all the money was on Oregon, it's always a little sketch, right? Because I feel like we always have these games where all the money's on one side, and then you get crabs on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, you know Krabs is on the other side.
And
Did he actually, like, put out the other side?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would just fully guess. I hope that he's with us, but I'm on Oregon here. I think that the money makes sense on why it is the way it is. The problem is I've got 71-66, right? So I'm like spot on both the spread and the total. I did grab this at -4, so I'm a unit in on this because I thought the line was going to move, and it did. A -5, I don't know if I even trust it anymore, but I do think that even my model have them winning by 5. I think they could take this by 6 or 7, so I will stay on the Oregon -5.
Okay, yeah. So also, depending on the book, there are several 4.5s out. I'm showing like BetMGM, WinBet, DraftKings, among a couple others.
I personally wouldn't recommend, if you can't get this for -4, to not take it, but that's just me.
Yeah, this I would agree. This is not the game to be betting.
Yeah.
So I have this as a 3-point Oregon win. So I'm actually going to go on the opposite side of you and take Washington State +5 here. So in addition to just the model liking it, I'm a big fan of this Washington State team. They're kind of lacking a marquee win on the season, which is the big thing, probably keeping them out of the NCAA tournament if the season ended today. But this is a team with a lot of talent, both in the backcourt and in the front court. They have Michael Flowers, who is an extremely talented scoring guard, plus a ton of depth in the front court with guys like F.A. Abigidi, Deshaun Jackson, Mo Gay. They've been a little banged up this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've got Oregon's got like a better, cleaner bill of health, right? So I feel like that's a major factor, right? Like as far as injuries and how beat up these guys have been. Oregon has also won, what was it, like 10 of their games?
Yeah, Oregon's been hot.
Yeah.
They lost at home last time out against Cal.
Yeah,
14.
California.
I think that's a team that throws a lot of people up.
I did not want to touch that game at all.
Yeah, but they've definitely been on a bit of a heater. Aside from that, yeah. So there are some injury concerns on Washington State. I'm showing Deshaun Jackson questionable with an eye injury. I think that's the only big rotation piece that is questionable.
You think that Washington has enough like firepower on its offense though? I feel like they can't keep up with NCAA tournament like contenders.
Yeah, I mean they just need a couple guys to get hot. I mean, on the one hand, no shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's kind of how teams win, is they have a guy that gets hot.
Yeah.
But no, I think that they have the talent, and I think that once the health kind of gets solved for this team, and once they can build up some consistency, they'll start playing a little bit better as a unit, which helps individual players kind of have those good games that can carry a team to a win.
Personally, I feel like this game is going to be won in the turnover battle. So I think that Oregon doesn't, even in the game against California, I don't think they gave up too many turnovers, which is usually pretty clean in a loss like that. But I think they do force, especially against this Washington team, who have not been good on the handling side. So I think if you see the stat sheet tomorrow, and Oregon wins, look at the turnover difference.
Yeah, so even in that loss against Cal, they actually did out turnover Cal. So Cal had 17 turnovers, Oregon only had 11.
Yeah.
So the chat is definitely on the public side today, siding with you. 75% of the 40 votes that came in on this poll are on Oregon, -5. So we're going to throw that up as the lean. And yeah, that's a good point right at the end there. Bad shots are turnovers as well. So let's go ahead now and keep up tempo and pace and move along to category number 3.
Mid-major spotlight.
Millions on the table, that's major. I turn dirt into diamonds, that's major.
So category number 3 is mid-major spotlight, where we're looking to highlight a team or two teams that most people might have not seen just because they don't play in a power conference, but are definitely teams that you should tune into in preparation for March. These are teams, both teams actually in this game. It is the St. Louis St. Bonaventure team. Are certainly in some way, shape, or form NCAA tournament contenders. I mean, St. Bonaventure made it last year. I think if it ended today, St. Louis would be quite possibly in this year. But either way, this is an interesting game for multiple reasons. So St. Bonaventure is at home, favored by 2, total sitting at 136. These two teams played just a couple days ago.
This game hurt me.
This game hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
No, this was Buzz's pick of the day.
Yeah.
Taking St. Bonaventure. Or no, taking St. Louis.
St. Louis, yeah.
And I think that a lot of other people were on St. Louis in that game as well.
Yeah, that was my college pick of the day as well. In my 3-unit bets, and also in my my parlay I took with Wiley. That was the only leg that sold in my alternate Wiley parlay too.
Damn. I tried to tell you guys. I said in the chat in Night Sweats.
I figured I knew that these two teams were closer than the -5 that I was giving it by far. But I figured St. Louis at home was safe for the money line at least.
Yeah,
But
I was a little bit surprised that St. Bonaventure won that game. So,
Yeah.
so to recap, for anybody who wasn't paying attention, who wasn't emotionally devastated by this game, that was a game that was at St. Louis, and St. Louis was a 5.5-point favorite. St. Bonaventure ended up winning on the road by 7. So today, what we have, and that game was on February 11th, so just 3 days ago. So the spread has moved 7.5 points in the shift from being at St. Louis to at St. Bonaventure. So Data, can you trust St. Louis again?
all right,
Are
so I
you
got
taking
thoughts
St.
on this.
Bonaventure?
Here's the thing, all right? You never want to be affected by past losses and bad beats, right? You always want to look at games individually so you don't have the mentality of crack and steal coin or whatever it is. And when you do that mentality, you're missing out on good opportunities where, the pick is like basically a good bet, and you're just not taking it because the team has hurt you in the past, right? But you also have to take into account, right, where these two teams just played. So you have recent data of their matchup. You have, history of them playing against each other already. And you have to take that into account. You can't just throw that away. You have to still. That's why it went from a 5.5-point favorite to a 2-point favorite. Because not only did
underdog.
Yeah. So not only did, the St. Bonaventure win, they won away, right? Now they're playing at home. These two teams are still the same teams. Home field advantage is actually pretty important, right?
Oh, yeah.
But, it doesn't mean, like, it's guaranteed, right? Two teams can play each other 100 times, and you're almost always going to have a different result every time. So looking at the data, looking at the matchup, looking at these two teams, I still think St. Louis is the better team, but I think it's slightly now. I don't think it's as big as I originally thought initially. And factoring in home field advantage, I do think that St. Bonavine wins, but I actually had them winning by 2, which is the spread.
So you can also make a total pick here.
That's where I'm going. So these two teams are going to be explosive. If anything, it could even go into overtime pretty easily enough. But I'm going to take the over 136. I've got 70-68 as the final score. And I think that's a little bit close to the total for me. But I think these two teams might be more explosive than especially tonight in a revenge game. St. Bono trying to, win at home, sweep the series. St. Louis not giving up, probably disgusted by their loss 2 days ago, right? Was it 2 days ago?
3 days ago.
3 days ago on Friday. They're going to come, both these teams are going to come with a lot of energy tonight.
Yeah, so I'm with you on the over here. I think that the over is my favorite play in this game as well. Although I also like St. Louis to kind of bounce back and win this game. So looking at that game, so ignoring the model for a second, I'm seeing a 7-point win for St. Bonaventure in this game. Both teams shot pretty much the same, but St. Louis committed 18 turnovers compared to just 7 for St. Bonaventure. So that's what I see when I see that is room for improvement for St. Louis. That's points that they've left on the court that they can adjust to and kind of grab back in this next game. I think that St. Louis has the easier path to improvement. So I'm actually going to do something I don't do very often and throw up double leans. I like St. Louis +2, and I also like the over 136. So let's take a look and see what chat said. So very, very close poll from chat. All 4 options got at least 16% of the vote. It looks like St. Bonaventure and the over was the winner by plurality. St. Bonaventure -2 overall captured 51% of the vote, which means that St. Louis has 49 or 48% of the vote, just rounding errors. However, the over was the number 1 and the number 2 option. So 20 votes on the over compared to just 11 on the under. So we're going to take the over 136 as chat's lean on this game. So chat has been with you 3 out of 3 so far. How does that make you feel?
I went 4-1 on your stream last week, and I need to get this 5-0 today. So, or is it 6? Right?
I
6
think unless you give double leans somewhere, but 5. Yeah, I think you've had 4-0 twice, or 4-1 twice.
4-1 twice. Yep. I went 4-1 the first time, 4-1 the second time. This time is the 5-0 day.
Yeah, and Matican, if you can't bet on St. Louis, I'm assuming you live in New York. St. Bonaventure is in kind of western upstate New York, so you wouldn't be able to bet on them if you're in that state. So let's now move along to category number 4, and also I see some questions about other games in the chat. We can touch on some other stuff once we wrap up the regularly scheduled programming. So category number 4.
Game of the day.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.
So category number 4, game of the day. Today's marquee matchup. There's quite a few games today, but there is only one ranked team in action. And that is the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas is at home hosting the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Kansas is favored by 10.5 as of right now. Total set at 143. So, Data, where are you at on this one?
This one was another tough one. You're picking all the tough games, man. Picking the ones where I've got like no edge on either side, I swear.
I just like secretly looked at your model and said, well, how can I make your life as hard as possible?
I think you picked the toughest games for content, you know? I swear. You don't want me to get this 5-0, do you?
No, that's all I care about is you not going 5-0.
This one was good. Obviously, game of the day. Kansas is the better team. They haven't played as well at home, but they did win this matchup twice away, and I think they won by 11 points. Problem is that Oklahoma is terrible on the road. And
this is Oklahoma State, not Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, sorry, yeah. Oklahoma State is terrible on the road. They just can't keep up momentum. They can't seem to find back-to-back wins. And I think they're coming off a win, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, yeah, they knocked off West Virginia 81-58 at home.
Yeah.
Last time out.
And I think I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure they're like 0-5 against the spread after a win. So
Interesting.
They just can't keep things rolling. And Kansas, you know, you got to take Kansas here. Minus 11 is tough. It was minus 10.5. I've got them winning by 12. I'm going to take the Kansas spread.
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of thoughts on the spread here. I actually do have Oklahoma State covering, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. So I'm actually going to lean with the under in this game. And I'm curious, actually, what your model has for the total here.
My
Or at least
exact
lean under
score,
or under.
my exact score is 78-66, which doing the quick math is, I believe,
130.
144? 144.
Okay, so you're over a little bit.
Yeah, by a point.
Yeah.
Not enough for me to take. I think I don't know, it could come back to the same situation, right? They go 76-66, not cover the spread, and now they're under, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, so
Gonna
this
come down to that last two, you know?
Yeah. So I will say that I am a little bit concerned by what the model's saying here. Oklahoma State has been a bit of a defensive sieve at home or on the road. They've given up a lot of points. They gave up 77 to TCU, 71 against Kansas State, 81 against Florida in their last 3 road games. So that's a little worrying.
All right, 78-66.
Yeah, that being said,
So it's 144 for those in the chat. Sorry.
yeah. I do think that defense is kind of Oklahoma State's path to victory in this game. I think that they're going to try and slow the tempo down against this Jayhawks team. And I'm kind of hoping that Kansas is up enough that we don't get too many fouls down the stretch. That is kind of always an under killer. But I'm gonna throw up an under here. So chat, looking at poll results, is actually in alignment with me. So there's still a few seconds left on the poll. But at the moment, we have 65% of the vote on the under, and no more than 52% on either side. So chat, for the first time, is not taking your exact bet. They're taking my bet this time. We're going with the under. And again, I see we have some questions about some other games. I know the William and Mary game starts quite shortly, but we will have time to touch on that before the game starts. Just got to get through the last category first.
I do have UNCW.
Yeah, I have Wilmington covering. I don't have any action on it, though.
Yeah, I do. I have a unit on the minus 12.5. I think.
Yeah, William and Mary is bad. They're really bad. So let's move along and hop into category number 5. But before I play the intro, so this category is our best bets. And chat, in order to make a poll on your best bets, I need to know what your favorite bets are. So start typing them out. If it's a spread, give me the team and give me the point spread. If you're on a total, give me both teams and the number that the total is at. So here's the little video clip.
Big Brain plays.
Come on. Think. Brain blast!
And let's see. So I see a Davidson. I see a Delaware. I see a UIC. We've got enough people here that I'm going to look to see games pop up twice. So there's 2 Davidsons. We'll call it Davidson minus 13.5. I'm seeing both sides of the IUPUI game. Okay, I see UMBC twice. Also, only college basketball. Professional college basketball capper Fruity says Creighton minus 11. We'll throw that.
I wonder how he came to that. I wonder what his process was.
Was it perhaps involving you?
No, I think it was literally just looking at the games and eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
All right, so poll is up. I just took a bunch of ones that's on the chat. Of course, there's many, many more that we can't throw in the poll. But just vote amongst those. So, Data, what is your favorite bet today?
So I was close on a few of these. I think even Davidson was really high up there for me. I thought about that quite a bit. But I think the one that was most confident from the model, and the one that, as I dug deeper into these games, I liked the most in this matchup, is going to actually be Texas Southern minus 3.
Interesting.
Yes. So they're up against the Southern University Jaguars. You would think this match would be a little bit closer given the two teams, but I think Texas Southern has faced a little bit tougher in opponents, and just overall have them beat on the glass as well. And I think that it's going to show in this game, and they're going to beat them by, my guess is, I would say, just looking at this matchup and the data and everything, I would say they'd beat them by like 8 or 9, but the model has them winning by 7. So
yeah, I don't hate it. I think Texas Southern, pretty much year in, year out, is the #1 team in the SWAC.
yeah,
And I think getting them at only 3 points, just in general, feels like a good value, especially at home. So I'm on board. Actually, let me see what I have this game at. Yeah, I have Texas Southern by about the same number that you do.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have them by a little more.
Yeah, that's why I think personally, I think my model's even underrating Texas Southern, which is saying something, right? If it's already beating the spread by 4 points. Yeah, it's definitely going to be my college basketball pick of the day. Spoiler for Trent's stream.
So I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of today's slate. It's kind of hard for me to come up with my top bet today. But I have one that I do like. I'm gonna take a team that burned a lot of people not too long ago. I'm gonna take Holy Cross minus 2.5 at home against American University. So this American team is really bad. the Patriot League is kind of a bad conference to begin with, and American is the worst team in that conference. They're just 2-10 in the conference. Additionally, this game being on the road, I think bodes really bad for American. They've only won 2 road games this year. Not that they need to win this, but at 2.5, they basically need to win in order to get this cover. They had a kind of fluky win at Mount St. Mary's, where they won that game in overtime and outshot them by more than 20% from 3. And they had a win earlier in the year on the road against William and Mary, where again, they outshot them by nearly 20% from 3. And we know William and Mary is an atrocious team. So Holy Cross burned a lot of people in that game against Colgate about a week ago. Oh yeah, actually that was exactly a week ago because we talked about it on stream.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I really think that the only reason why this number is only sitting at 2.5 is that these two teams played earlier this year. It was in Washington, D.C. at American. An American beat them by 18 points.
I think we both had Colgate that game too, right? For the Holy Cross game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally think American stinks as well. Mm-hmm. So I just looked it up as well. My model has them winning by 5 for the Holy Cross. So I like this pick a lot. I'm probably gonna ride it as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Holy Cross isn't good, but they've been hot. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, including 3 on the road. A game at Boston University, a team that's 18-9 on the year. A win at Army, a 500 team. And a win at home against Loyola Maryland, who is, again, another one of the better teams in this conference and is sitting at above 500 on the season. I think that this 2.5 number is just not reflective of where these teams are at. I was actually a little sketched. I was looking for injury news and I couldn't find anything. I'm a little bit worried that there is, that I haven't seen.
I wonder if people actually like Creighton -11 or just because Fruity put it.
I think it's just because Fruity said it. We need to do like an experiment, right? So we need Fruity's pick from the Fruity account, and we need Fruity's pick from like an alt account, and see if they perform the same. See how much of it is because people like the pick and think it's a good pick, or how much of it is because people just think that Fruity is the best.
Some people said it's a good pick. You guys do know that Fruity literally just went through this slate and was like, that one.
The people have faith.
I actually like this pick too. This is on my 1 unit card. I hate that Fruity does this sometimes, and he actually picked my pick of the day for one of the picks, and as his random one, and I couldn't take it as my play of the day anymore because it was like, oh man, he already called that game.
You can't like call dibs on a pick of the day.
He called dibs. He was CBB capping 100% ratio, you know.
He was 2-0.
We're already on too many games together. I think our like NHL side is like 90% of the same side or something like that. So
that's good. That's good. I like it when you guys are on the same side. Good for the bank account.
This is a good game though. I think I do think Creighton covers the spread. I think they're much better than Georgetown and they're at home. I have them winning by 14. I don't know what you have.
I actually do have Georgetown covering.
Oh wow. Your model really likes the underdog.
Yours does?
No, yours. You have all the underdogs covering the spread.
Yeah. Not all the underdogs, just in these games.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite pick is a favorite. I like UNC Wilmington in that game. So we have like 15 minutes. If you want, we can take some time and talk about some other games. So one game, I guess we already touched on William and Mary and UNC Wilmington. Another game that I think is kind of interesting is the UMBC and New Hampshire game. So UMBC to cover 2.5 got 8 votes in today's poll from the chat. I don't like UMBC today. I kind of like New Hampshire to cover. I'm curious, Data, what your thoughts on that are.
Trying to pull it up now. I think I had New Hampshire too. I mean, just thinking about these two teams, is New Hampshire at home?
Yeah, it's at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I like New Hampshire so much more at 2.5. I'm trying to see what the model says right quick. Yeah, the model has New Hampshire winning by 5.
Yeah, I have them by 4.5.
Yeah, I don't know why so many people like the UMBC spread. I don't know if there's something we're missing here.
I mean, they played earlier this year, and UMBC beat them by 11.
Yeah.
UMBC also shot 14 of 25 from 3 in that game.
Yeah, I remember that game. I think I had money on that game. I think one of us had money on that game. I don't forget who, but yeah, that's not something that happens often.
It's
like
it's not sustainable.
Yeah, that's like when Luka throws up 55 points against the Clippers. It's not happening next game, even though it almost did. He had like 45, but they still lost.
Yeah. I just think that this New Hampshire team is a lot better.
Yeah.
And another thing is this New Hampshire team is one of the absolute best defensive rebounding teams in the country, which is a kind of weird thing for a team like New Hampshire to be, but they are. So against teams that shoot a lot of threes, it's a very easy path to victory for New Hampshire to just have them miss threes and not get second chance opportunities. I mean, that's one of the big advantages typically of shooting a lot of threes is that it's easier to grab offensive rebounds on them. But a lot of that is neutralized by New Hampshire. So unless teams are hitting 56% from 3, I typically like New Hampshire against teams like this.
I know it's a college basketball, stream, but just to address that comment that Luka does it against the Clippers all the time. So Luka actually has, I think, 12, someone will have to fact check me, but 12 games over, I think, 40 or 50 points. I forget what exactly it was. Someone was telling me this the other day. He has 12 games where he scores over a certain amount, and 11 of those 12 are against the Clippers.
Yeah, so I have his full career game log against the Clippers pulled up. He's gone for 45, 51, 46. And I'm skipping lower scoring games. This isn't literally every game. But he's had games of 45, 51, 46, 42, 44, 39, 42, 38, 43, 42 against the Clippers. So it does look like he kind of owns them.
Yeah, I think it's 40 plus point games, and I think it's like 11 of them are against the Clippers.
That's wild. So I wonder how much of that. I'm not a big NBA guy, but I wonder how much of that is just like coincidence versus he just for whatever reason turns up against the Clippers.
He just hates
is
the Clippers.
Is it bad defense on the Clippers? Is there like a guy who's responsible for guarding him on the Clippers?
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is the matchup, right? Of course, you got to take that into consideration. But it also just looks like if you're actually watching the game, it just looks like Luka puts so much more effort against the Clippers. The only other time I see him with that much effort is sometimes against the Hawks. I feel like just to prove that he's better than Trae Young.
Yeah,
and then
that's
also
always
against
going
the
to be a thing.
Lakers. I think he loves playing against like stars like LeBron and Giannis as well. So
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah,
Gotta turn up on the biggest stage.
yeah.
So what about the Northern Colorado game? That was another one that made the poll. Got 12 votes, tied for second place with UNC Wilmington. Just one vote behind the win.
Who's at home?
It's Southern Utah at Northern Colorado, and the spread is
That's gonna be a close game.
Northern Colorado minus 1.5.
Oh, yeah, I'm so good at the spread thing. Are we gonna do that? Are you gonna tell chat that it might be coming or not yet? You want to wait?
We'll see. I mean, we need to figure out. So long story short, is we just have some ideas for other types of content to put out on Twitch, not handicapping. more like trivia or guess the spread, which I guess is a form of trivia. But just stuff along those lines. There's still a lot of details that need to get hammered out, though, as far as formatting everything. But we do it off stream sometimes, and it's fun.
That's not listening. They're all paying attention to Fruity.
Yeah, everyone's just talking to Fruity. We're gonna make Fruity do guess the line for college
Guess
basketball.
the line. That would be great. I want to see Fruity guess the college basketball line. Because I know he could probably accurately guess the odds for a money line in an NHL game. But I want to see him guess a college basketball line. It was like Canadian God guessing too. It was fun.
So, what do you have for this game?
I've got Northern Colorado winning. I actually thought that it was going to be closer than this, so I don't love my model's projected score here because I have Northern Colorado winning by 4. Do think the home advantage is extremely important in this matchup. These two teams are like, I could see this being a pick'em game, honestly, just off the back. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I would take Northern Colorado, but I'd feel like I'd be safer on the money line here at this point.
Yeah, so I actually like Southern Utah quite a bit today.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
do.
See, I feel like it's a very good game. This is going to be a really good game. I think Southern Utah is a slightly better team, very slightly, but I think you have to count into North Colorado's home field advantage, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people, they see Colorado schools and think that they have the elevation advantage. Southern Utah plays quite high up. They are, I think they play at like almost 4,000 feet. Let's see, so Cedar City, Utah.
I feel like I might stay away from that North Colorado
Yeah,
game.
so Southern Utah plays at elevation of 5,846 feet. Which I'm almost, I mean, it has to be higher than Greeley because Greeley is further east from Denver. And Denver's lower than this.
But Northern Colorado, I think, has a good record at home, right? Like, trying to pull up stats for them. And they did win this matchup, right? Earlier? Away?
Yeah, they did win at Southern Utah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have to look into this a little bit more, but Northern Colorado money line might end up on my 1 unit card today.
Yeah. Ben, I think I've only picked against Northern Colorado twice. And I think I'm 1-1. The model does hate Northern Colorado, though. It has a lot of weird opinions about the Big Sky. So one more game that I think is kind of interesting, another power conference game that got asked about is Virginia Tech. Big rivalry game in the ACC.
Assume Virginia is at home. Or no, Virginia.
It's Virginia at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Looking like Virginia Tech minus 4.5, total of 118.5.
That seems right. Let's see what I've got on it. Tough game. I got Virginia Tech winning by 4.
Yeah, I have also Virginia Tech winning, but Virginia covering. And I have the total at literally exactly 118.5.
Yeah, I do too. I have 119. Yeah, I'm not putting any money on this game.
This isn't a game that I want to touch either.
This is a 0% touch game for me. Mm-hmm. Not even. I'm gonna look into it a little bit deeper. I'm go with your hearts on this game.
Yeah, and my heart says stay away. I don't like either of these schools. Yeah,
that's a good question. Why is this line so low? Because typically, you see the line closer to 140, and I think even 120 might be a little bit high for this.
So the
I
reason
want
that this line is so low is that Virginia is literally the slowest team in the country.
yeah.
They're 358th out of 358 in tempo,
Oh, yeah.
and Virginia Tech is not too far behind. They're 343rd out
Yeah.
of 358 in tempo.
They played earlier, and their total score was, I think, 110, maybe even lower than that. I think it was under 110.
Yeah, the game was 54-52 when these two teams played before.
106. Yeah.
And both teams shot better than 40% from the floor. So it's not even like they shot poorly. It's just
And
they
that's the thing, right?
played really
Virginia
slow.
Tech has some people who can actually shoot threes. Like, it's not like they're terrible at shooting. They're just so slow. Like, watching that game is like, I want to fall asleep as they just go pass, pass, pass,
Yeah.
pass, 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 pass.
Yeah, and even what is interesting is a lot of the other kind of mid-major slow tempo teams actually these days have coaches who come from Virginia's coaching tree. So it's slowly spreading. It's infecting the lower levels of the game as well, making it unwatchable.
Pass. There's one more pass in there.
One more pass.
And now
Not enough passing.
yeah. And then shoot.
And then don't shoot. Just turn the ball over. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, shot clock violation. The two teams are just gonna have shot clock violations for the full, full game.
I wonder if you could bet on how many shot clock violations there'll be. I really
Sure, if you
doubt it.
request it. Maybe if you request it. I don't know if the odd makers would be able to give.
Yeah, so they practice going to half court in exactly 9 seconds. So 2 more minutes before the book it stream. What are your thoughts on Davidson last game?
Davidson I actually liked a lot. So I even said that was close to being my pick of the day. I hate having this mentality, but I do have this, and it has saved me a couple times. But I do have the mentality of like too many points, right? And it has screwed me sometimes too, right? Like Suns versus Magic the other day, I was all over the Suns. I was like, they're gonna destroy the Magic. They're gonna like demolish them. Magic have no one. And then I saw that the game was like a 17-point spread, and I was like, 17 points in the NBA? I just can't bet on it. And I think they ended up beating them by like, I don't even know, like 25, 30 or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it's always, yeah.
yeah, no,
Sorry.
spreads like that is a lot of room for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
I know I got burned on it twice last week on Trent's stream. I had a Belmont minus 19.5. They only won by 14. And I had a New Mexico State minus 10.5, and they only won by like 8 or something. So
But
at the same time though, you can really find some good value on those if they blow the other team out.
Yeah, I mean, like even last week, I had Creighton at what 16 points was it, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous, and they covered it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did. Oh, Pierce, nice. You went to Duquesne. I went to Pitt for grad school, and I lived in Southside when I went to Pitt, so I was like right there.
I think what's good is that I feel like Davidson might come in a little hot. Like they might be upset after that loss. So I feel like they could start blowing the game out of proportion. The question is do they
Yeah.
do they start benching them when they're way ahead or not? And I think I would still take the Davidson spread here. It's definitely going to be on my one card lay for sure. I have Davidson winning by 18 points. And whenever something like that, I'm taking it. But I don't know if I trust it enough to make it my 3-unit bet of the day, for sure.
Yeah, I also have Davidson covering. I'm a big fan of this Davidson team.
Yeah.
The one thing that scares me about them covering big spreads is just the fact that they play extremely slow. Their offense is crazy good. so their raw numbers look good in like a points per game, but they're 323rd in the country in tempo, which can create some problems if they struggle.
You know, you never. The tough part is you're betting on like the energy at the end of the game in a blowout, right? Like, do they keep destroying? Do they like even anyone who had watched the Canada's women's hockey game yesterday?
Yeah.
That was a bad beat for anyone who was watching it. But like Canada was up like 9-3 or something like that, and Switzerland was just done because there was like 10 minutes left in the game, and Canada was still giving it like all it had, and you could see the frustration and like the pissed offness on the Swiss's face. And Canada's just like, we don't give a shit. We need practice. We want to be better. We came out to give it our all, and that's what we're gonna give it, right? So like, you get energy like that, and you're guaranteeing basically a goal, right, against a team that's basically given up. So it's always hard.
It makes no difference to Canada whether they cover.
Yeah.
Whether they win by 8 or by
They
7.
just wanted 10. They really wanted 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, same situation. I mean, I think Davidson really wants to make it into the Atlantic 10 standings, right? So I feel like they're not gonna like have it light, take it easy. They're gonna go crazy on this game. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna wrap up. Thank you, Cole, for the couple bits, and Jester, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I'm gonna reach out to you, Jester, after the stream. Ben and I have a meeting in like 10 minutes, but I think after that, we'll take care of all of the contest winners from yesterday's stream. So, quick reminder to everybody: we're gonna be live same time, same place with Wiley tomorrow. Big thank you, as always, to Data for taking an hour out of his Monday to join us on stream. Appreciate it very much. Be sure to go drop a follow for him on Twitter if you have not done so already. There's a link for that in the chat. And with that said, let's go ahead and raid the Book It Sports channel. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. And we will see you all tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Nick.
Yep, thank you.